I'm pulling up your Instagram right now because you put out whether it was a tweet or a post. It was a tweet. And it's something that I've been saying for the longest time. Has to do with Steph Curry. He just broke the record, all-time three-point shooter at the Garden, of course, because everyone lights it up at MSG, yet no one comes to play for the Knicks is always the thing I like to say. Your tweet was, nothing has changed the way NBA basketball is played today more than the international style of play, analytics, and, of course, Steph Curry. Elaborate on that.
Yeah.
Because I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Yeah, so, I mean, the international style of play, mostly from Europe, has a huge influence on the way basketball is being played today. Like, back in the 90s, we saw the NBA was more power forwards, big centers that would post up. Now
Needed to have a big guy or else it was quiet for you.
Yeah, and they're still big guys, but they more often stretch it now, or they're rim runners, and the stretch bigs was way more prevalent in Europe. Their bigs had to stretch it. And I noticed even when I played in Europe, maybe the best shooters weren't better than the best shooters here, but the worst shooters were definitely better than the worst shooters here. Like, on average, everybody could stretch it. Like, you had 5 guys with gravity a lot of the time. So that's how the game is played today. Analytics, everybody knows three's worth more than 2. Mm-hmm. What happened with that? Every team is shooting more threes. My mom, who doesn't even watch basketball much, could watch a game and say, why are they shooting? Nobody's going inside. Why are they shooting so much from the outside? And, analytics is more than three-pointers. It's actually the highest value shots are layups, dunks, free throws, and threes. And mid-range is the least valuable shot according to analytics. But that has obviously had a huge impact on the game. We saw the movie Moneyball and the impact it had on baseball.
Yep.
But, yeah, so, like, in the 90s and even earlier than that, teams didn't have analytic departments. Now they have, like, teams of guys for each franchise that just focus on the analytics of the game. And it's changed the game tremendously. And obviously Steph Curry, man, like, nobody in today's game has changed the game more than him. Not Kevin Durant, not LeBron James, Steph Curry, all the kids. If you watch them play now, they play like Steph. They just want to shoot from 40, and jack up a lot of threes because they believe they could do it. Like, they know there's probably a chance that they might not be 6'8", 260, run a 4.4 40-inch vertical. But there's a chance in their head they could be Steph Curry. And maybe they can if they keep practicing their jump shot. So that's just, what it is. But
I started clapping because that, I think, is the biggest appeal to him.
Yeah.
He's considered small, but he's
6'3",
6'3", right? Right.
Yeah.
It was funny, a picture surfaced of him and Myles Garrett. He's a defensive end for the Cleveland Browns. And, like, if you see this dude, just like a Greek god, chiseled, brolic, one of the freak athletes in the NFL, he's like eye level with Steph. And it's like, damn, if we consider him to be a freak athlete, but he's like the same size as Steph. Yeah, muscle-wise he's not, but like from a height standpoint. But with Curry, it's so true, bro, because in theory, I'm 5'10", right? So in theory, I can't dunk. There are rare occasions, not rare occasions, but there are rare people that are, they just got bungees, right?
Of course.
But it's more likely that I can just become a tremendous shooter and just hit from 40 feet.
Right.
So it's easier for a kid that's 6 foot, 6'1" to just become a great shooter as opposed to athletic ability.
I would say that some of that is mindset. I think if you dedicated your life to dunking, you'd probably be able to do it at a pretty good level, even at 5'10". So I think just that you believe that you might be able to do this, it actually gives you a better chance that you'll be able to do it too. That's part of it as well.
Don't you think also just like genetics and just like, people just have it. Like, I'm sure dudes that are great athletes and they never did a push-up or they never did a box jump.
Yeah, everybody's athletic baseline is different, but I think it's not as... I think there's more room for growth than people think when it comes to athleticism. Yeah, I do.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But do you feel like it's, I don't want to say easier, because so many people have taken jump shots in like the history of life, and this guy is clearly the best one.
He is.
To ever shoot.
He is.
And how much of that do you think is like growing up with a pops who played in the league too?
Helps. It helps you learn how to be a professional. It's all about mindset.
Think about some of the dudes right now that are pro athletes, that their fathers were pro athletes too. Pat Mahomes, Donovan Mitchell, Steph Curry. You're talking about some guys that are in that system.
And even not the top level guys. A lot of their parents played, or they have family members who are in the NFL or the NBA. Yeah, definitely.
Do you think Curry, if he doesn't go to Golden State, turns out to be the player that he is now?
I think he definitely benefited from their system, you know.
Not only the system, the big knock on him once he entered the league was he started getting hurt. He had the ankle issues. One of the reasons why Golden State was so successful is because they lucked out on that contract they gave him.
Yeah.
Remember the year he won MVP? I bet him to win MVP that year. It was 30-1 odds. And he was, I believe, the 12th most expensive guy on the team. And
crazy.
the reason why was because he had those ankle issues. Like, you look, he comes into the league, plays 77 games and 74 games. Then he plays 23 games because of the ankle issues. And then it's not until, like, 2012 where he jumps to, like, 20 points a game. And then the explosion really happens 2015. But you remember they played the Clippers in that series right before they won the title, where they took them to 7, and everyone's like, oh, yo, well, what's happening in San Fran right now? Like, we got to keep our eye on that shit. Like, yeah, we know these guys are good shooters, but where's this dude Draymond Green come from now? And then they get Barboza, and then they bring in Iggy. But I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that it was his ankles were a curse that turned into probably the biggest blessing in the NBA the last decade.
Yeah, it was a perfect storm for them, and they just gave the NBA a new look from shooting all those threes, you know? I mean, you could do what Golden State does now, but it wouldn't have the same effect because everybody's used to it and everybody's doing the same thing.
And you also don't have the Splash Brothers.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's easy for me to say, yo, today we're going to go out and shoot 53s.
Yeah.
But I don't got the best backcourt of all time from a shooting standpoint.
Yeah, and Klay and Draymond really complemented Steph because they're such great defenders. Klay is a very good to great defender, and Draymond's an all-time defender. So all of that went into consideration. And then they had all these great role players as well, as you said.
Yeah. Nah, it's true, man. The system, the timing of it, too.
Yeah.
Like, yo, how many guys do you think play in the league right now on teams that they're just in the wrong system?
100%. Yeah, that's a lot. Like, the most improved player award should be called the Better Situation Award. Like,
I like that.
I mean, probably the guy got a little bit better, but there's a good chance he got in a better situation, too, you know? It's probably a combination of both.
Yeah, maybe a new place, a new coach,
100%.
2 new guys on the roster to change
100%.
things.
More opportunity.
Yeah.
You know, somebody unfortunately gets injured, he gets to play.
Yeah, you get more playing time now.
Yeah.
No, that's true, man. You know, one thing that always pops up, and it was so ironic that Steph did it at the Garden, is, oh, he could have been a Knick. He wanted to be a Knick the whole 9. And it's like,
the Knicks think everybody wants to be a Knick, but there was some truth to it when it comes to Steph.
there was, yeah. But also, bro, like, you live in New York. You know how the media is. You think if they draft a guy like Steph Curry and he's hurt and then he's back, like, he's able to play, but they're not rushing him. Like, Golden State didn't really rush them.
Yeah.
Whereas in New York, they'd be like, yo, why haven't we seen Steph? What's going on with Steph? What the fuck? We got to get him out
Knicks
there.
fans are funny, man.
Oh,
You know what it is?
they're the best. It's the best fan base. I'm a Knicks fan.
They're very emotional.
Very emotional, very delusional, too.
Yeah,
Very delusional.
Yeah, they're delusional. Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, I remember last year when...
And shouts to all the Knicks fans that listen to Combos Court, but you guys are funny, man.
Yeah, shouts to the Knicks fans that listen to this, too. Shouts to Knicks fans everywhere.
Most definitely.
But yo, it's just... You don't think that it's very delusional, like, in a betting perspective, too? Like, me and my buddies, we bet the Hawks last year in the playoffs. Because we were just like, yo, they got 10 guys that could get a bucket. The Knicks have 2.5.
They got a depth.
They got depth there. But with the Knicks and the Curry thing, I don't think Steph Curry is the Steph Curry is now if he's on any other team. And especially once Kerr comes into the mix, we saw how he was a part of the Phoenix teams in the front office with, like, Steve Nash and then the Amari Stoudemire stuff. So they know about players with injury history and concerns.
Right. Nah, I agree with that. And I think it's a lot about situation. You know, it always is. But it's always what ifs. Like, what if Pippen never played with Jordan? Does Jordan get 6 rings? And that was Pippen's sentiment.
Yeah.
What he was saying. And everybody was killing him for it. But he was saying it's a team sport. And he was right. But obviously, you know, MJ is, we're not going to get into this debate now, 1 or 2 of all time.
Yeah. Yeah, I was told that you're a LeBron guy, right?
No.
I am too, though. So
no, it's not even LeBron guy, because if you say anything positive LeBron or that seems to be positive LeBron, you're a LeBron guy. And if you say anything slight criticism of LeBron, you're a LeBron hater. Like, why can't you just say how you feel without being, like, emotionally attached?
Well, you always
know?
have to be on a side.
I'm not on a side. Like,
Right.
it's an unbiased view of what I see, you
Yeah.
know? Like, so I would answer any LeBron question you had, and one answer you might hear and say, oh, this guy loves LeBron, and the other answer would be like, why are you a LeBron hater? But no, like you just give a nuanced opinion, you know?